Hey, what's going on, guys? This is just a video of me recording, talking to myself, talking out my ideas. I want to really do this in a real intimate kind of setting. Right now I'm in my apartment. It's relaxed, it's quiet, it's currently in the middle of the day. And usually what I'll do is just talk to myself out loud. Like, I talk to myself out loud a lot, but this is the first time I'm like recording it. And just give you guys a glimpse into my self-analysis, like how do I analyze my thoughts and everything like that. If you're new to the channel, my name is Frankie, and about 2 years ago my channel went really viral, doing language reaction videos and things of that nature, and that all stopped. And ever since then I had to deal with some other aspects of myself that I felt like I was neglecting for a long time. So for the month of May, I decided that, you know what, since it is Mental Health Awareness Month, it'd probably be a good idea to just share one video each day. So I committed to posting one video each day. I can't promise how long or short it's going to be, it just depends on my mood, but ultimately the goal here is just to highlight and to create more of like a safe environment and a conversational starter in the comment section about things that they're working on within them. Everybody has something that they're working on mental health wise within themselves. It may be just something as a goal that they're trying to reach. Maybe it might be confidence, maybe trying to get rid of some insecurities. Whatever it is, this is the direction that I really feel comfortable with the channel. Of course, we're always going to have languages and things of that nature as the channel progresses, but for the longest time I was kind of like thinking if I should hold this back, this aspect of myself back, because of course, although I am a creator, I'm still human, and these aspects of myself, this aspect of myself is something that's really intimate, and it allows for me to be vulnerable and to expose myself in front of millions of people, but I've never had problems with that anyway. Hence, if you guys seen the other videos I had on the channel, like about last year, which pretty much was having like a meltdown online, and that's something that I would never do. But again, when you just sometimes I'll just do things that just was really heavy on my heart. So I'm trying to have like structure with this. I'm a very like go with the flow kind of person. So I'll try to make it make sense as much as possible, but pretty much I was in the middle before I decided to press record. I was literally laying just like this, looking out my window and just talking and just analyzing how much this trip and this period alone has been so beneficial to my psychology and my perception of self. I made some really distinct observations about how I arrived at this point right now in my life, and how this point was so much drastically different than any other juncture that I've had. Because admittedly, I've always simply just pursued an interest of mine, right? And when we saw on the channel last year, it was pretty much a point where it's just like, all right, I had this this innate compulsion to pursue another interest, and this has always served me better, right? Like, I'm nothing like who I used to be, simply because I've always decided to pursue a interest of mine, a new interest of mine, despite of what I've already amassed or whatever I'm doing at the time. And I know people always say that, and you would really have to see it to believe it, but when I say I'm nothing like who I used to be, I truly mean that, and I recognize that within myself. Like, I'm nothing like the person I used to be. I'm nothing like my background should reflect. I'm nothing like my peer group should reflect from where I originally come from. And that all is due to the fact that I've always pursued my different interests. And as bizarre as they may be, even to the point where I got famous was learning Chinese. Like, kids growing up in Brooklyn just don't decide to learn Chinese, but I did. And I was just basically there thinking, like, you know, the reason why this last jump if you will, like this last jump like really, because it's a jump, man. Like when you really want to do something different, whether it's you're in a career or whether it's like you're at a point in your journey where you have to make a decision. It feels as though you're literally at a cliff, like you're at the edge of the cliff, and you have to jump. And it's like the reason why this point was so different is because the whole world was looking. Literally, the whole world was looking, and so a little bit about my background. Like I've acquired like a lot of skills. I would say it's above average skills. Like I could do like a lot of stuff. Like one of those guys that I could really just do a lot of things and like you would think I would do something for years. When once I get the hang of something, it would look as if I've been doing it for years. But really, it's just I've been doing it for like a year or so. And every time I've pursued something, so like I started out barbering, things of that nature, and during that time, you know, there really wasn't really nothing at stake there, right? You know, I was still young, I was a teenager, and I pursued it because I was interested in, but I've always did what I wanted, I always pursued what I wanted, and the next step after that, after I pursued the barbering thing, I had real success in barbering, and my shop was really successful, and then just one day, I mean, something happened, of course, like the business side of things didn't work out, and I really had a point where I could jump or I could stay here. I was just like, I have a large clientele. I could simply just do what I'm doing now, just, you know, reopen a new shop or rent a booth at a nearby salon and just continue what I'm doing now, massively successful. But I'm a risk taker. I just said, you know what, I'm over this. And you would think at that time, like, what do you mean you're over? Like, this is something that you built your reputation on. Everybody knows you for this. You're literally like famous for cutting hair in this side of town. Like, what are you doing? But at that time, it's just like I can't really explain to people. It's just like it's like this inner voice or this inner desire to grow. And long story short, I left that environment, and that's when I decided to want to learn Chinese, and then the journey with that began, etc., etc. But the whole point of me sharing you that story is because to bring it back to what happened with the channel, which, by the way, was calling me to an evolution of the channel, growth. It wasn't my intentions to just leave YouTube completely. But when it came down to the channel, like, this is kind of like, I'm trying to like remember the things I was talking about because I was literally here for like, you're like 2 hours late. Like I was here talking, I'm just trying to remember the key points. But pretty much, I realized that there's no such thing as absolute truth, right? It's relative truth. Like some could say, and I really was sitting there and analyzing my thoughts and my feelings during that time of my life. I would have these psychosis episodes where I would walk for 4 hours, like at a time, every single day. And I recognized this because I really felt insecure. Like I felt like I wasn't able to really keep up with the pace of language learning in a way which would seem natural and authentic. And that's true. And I felt like the 4 hours every day that I would walk around and procrastinate, I walk around, South Seaport, Manhattan, around Chelsea, it was just because I was avoiding. It was avoidance more than anything, procrastination and avoidance. So that's true. But then it's a relative truth. There's no such thing as absolute truth. And what's also true is that I really felt that it was something that was pulling me away from that. And you might think, like, again, I just had to look back, and it was just like the biggest stressor during that period of my life wasn't necessarily that the financial issues and everything else that came with it, because by God, like it was extremely, I would say, devastating for, I guess, my family and myself, because being the breadwinner and literally taking my family out of struggle and financial insecurity to heights that we've never experienced before, then to literally just walk away from all of that because you don't feel like it. So, and there's also the aspect of ADHD, so that was a really difficult time for me. And but I want to say that the difficulty wasn't so much about that as they were about the confliction I felt. So like, more important than anything else, what being in isolation has done for me has absolved that element of confliction within myself. I learned more than anything else that I have to trust myself. Literally, there is no skill, and right hand to God, there is no skill, there is no nothing that I have pursued with earnest interest that I have not accomplished, and not only that, have not accomplished to a very respectable degree, right? And not only that, it is nothing that I have acquired that has not profoundly impacted my life. Even back to the earliest things that I've learned and I taught myself, like how to sing. I have a singer's background. When I taught myself how to sing, the effects of learning how to sing and being a singer on my life was profound, socially profound, mentally profound as a therapeutic outlet. When I learned how to when I taught myself how to cut hair, that was profound. I was able to be a highly desirable barber that people really sought out, all ethnicities, all kinds of people. That changed my life financially. That also changed my life socially. Learned how to speak with different groups of people. I had Asian clientele. That's really one of the earliest stages I was exposed to different language and cultures. Shout out to Ang. Ang used to be next door, Cambodian, next to my shop. He had a nail salon, and then funny enough, Thai sticky rice, mango. I was eating Thai sticky rice with mango way back in 2016, 2014, when nobody was doing it. Like, could you understand? Like, nobody was thinking like this. Nobody was like, what you mean, wrong with you? Like, you're eating mango and sticky rice? I was like, you know what? I just looked at the menu one day and I just decided to try it, and it was like I was addicted ever since. Look where I'm at now. Look how things play out down the line. Had no idea I would ever visit Thailand. Had no idea I would ever be doing the things I'm doing in Thailand. But like I said, everything that I pursued on my own, by my own interest, when I felt that internal pulling, it has always taken me higher in my journey, in my evolution of life. And like I said, this time I was like, it was just really difficult because the whole world was looking. There was a lot more at stake. I was a single young whippersnapper. I wasn't a father, and I wasn't the things I am now. I wasn't involved with anybody. And there's a lot of other things too that I'm not willing to share just yet. Like it was a lot going on during that time, and it really was around the time that everything was coming out on social media, on the channel. But so as I'm talking now, I guess this first video on for the month is just really just knowing to trust yourself. That's the biggest lesson I learned. And of course I think about this now, like, all right, I give myself grace now. Like, I give myself the permission that Frankie, you've been doing this shit ever since you was a little kid. You really think after you achieve this next goal that you're just gonna constantly want and seek growth, stimulation, intellectual stimulation, and expansion. You're one of the rare people that's in tune, and it's gonna be like that forever. It's never gonna change. So what can you do now to safeguard yourself and your family for the potential things to come when you want to pursue the next thing? Because it's always gonna be a next thing. And maybe there's some people out there like you're just like me, like you just feel like, yo, I'm just not satisfied. This shit's like, I just want more. Like, all right, I did it. Like, how many more viral videos can I make? How much more money can I make? How much? So there needed to be something that was deeper, richer for someone like me. And you can ask anybody that really knows me. Like, financial success never really moved the needle for me. Like, let alone popularity or fame, because I'm actually an introvert. Hence why I can be here for 4 months, or whatever the case is, in isolation, no problem. So I would say for this first video, trust yourself. And I came up with a beautiful phrase that pretty much encapsulate my new philosophy about trusting myself. And it's funny because it actually translates into the new thing that I'm interested in, which is trading and financial markets and analytics and all these things. But I said I'd rather trust myself and be wrong than not trust myself and be perfectly right. Because I would see how that issue was manifesting in my trading as well. Like when I tell you, y'all gonna see it. When I'm saying I'm one of the sharpest analysts out there, I'm one of the sharpest financial gold analysts that's out there. And my analysis would just be on the spot. And I'll be in that trade, but I'll close the trade, I'll exit the position early just because of doubt, just because I'm in drawdown, so I want to protect my, I just got a little bit, so let me just protect this. But like, I am really accurate, and it just, when I first came upon that expression, right, it was really dealing with trading, but I said, wait a minute, this is really something that I can really apply to my life. Like, I'd rather trust myself and be wrong than not trust myself and be right, because the most important thing is to trust yourself. And in New York, right before I came here, I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust my process, and I understand that, I dealt with it the best way I could at the time. But like I said, being alone, removing the distractions. People say, "Oh, don't isolate yourself." Let me tell you something. Let me address this now, man. Do not listen to people. Let me say that again. Do not listen to people. I'll even go as far as say, don't wholly listen to me. My whole point is that you have to really get in tune with yourself. Your body knows what it wants. Yes, our brains, our nervous system, all of our mechanical machinations of the brain are somewhat stunted and underdeveloped. But fundamentally, if you quiet down and if you do some good old-fashioned fasting, this is not medical advice, but if you do some good old-fashioned fasting, you'll be able to be more in tune with what your soul or what your heart is telling you to do. And once you get that, once you know and you know, that's it. Stop questioning it. Stop doubting it. Stop trying to compute it and rationalize it. Yo, that's it. And I knew for a long time, literally I felt this way. And that's why you think, it never gets easy. Like, I don't want to make something very clear. It never gets easy. Making that jump off that cliff to the next thing, it's never easy. However, I did want to make a very clear proclamation, I would say, maybe, for myself. Like, Frankie, you have to connect deeper and stay connected to your authentic self, your true self, your self-identity. Yes, we know you're going to always want to expand. We know you're going to always want to try new things. We know you're going to want to do what you want to do. That's like literally, you just want to do what you want to do. Cool. Safeguard yourself. Cool. But at the same time, you need to also continue to develop yourself and your confidence in yourself, right? Because a lot of these things is I don't know how long this video is. I gotta just break it out. I don't want to get in too much in this first video. Like, I know part of you guys think, oh, this is so good. I want to keep going, but I don't want to make this video too long. All right, so we'll just have to say that topic for another day. But the topic for this first video, as we're coming to an end, just remember to trust yourself. All right, trust yourself. You know what you want to do. All right, you know what you want to do. You know what you got to do. And if you trust yourself enough, and you trust the process enough, you will get there. All right? Once certain things are done, when I'm finished doing them, it's really going to be a testimony. I mean, I'm not trying to sound cocky or brag, but I'm used to doing it by now. It was just so difficult because of the whole world was looking, but now I don't care anymore. Like, I really don't care. This is me. I'm gonna constantly do this. After I do this massive thing, I'm gonna do another massive thing, because that's just me. And I give myself that kind of grace, and I give myself that permission to be a human being, to be an individual, to do what the F I want to do. But at the same time, I understand that there's sacrifices that happen with that. I understand that right now, like, more than anything, I want certain things to be the way they are, but even if they can't be right now, and that's just the way it has to be. But it's something that I'm working towards, right? And you just gotta just thug it out, man. And people say like how do people thug out medical school? How do people thug out law school? How do people thug out learning Mandarin Chinese or Arabic? Anything worthwhile requires sacrifice, requires a long-term vision. It's gonna require work, and you have to be able to commit to that process no matter what. So trust yourself, trust your process. It gets better. I promise it gets better. All right. And tomorrow's topic, we're gonna touch on something else, but that's it for today. Wish you guys peace, prosperity in the rest of 2024, and get in touch with your real self, man. Stop living a lie. Stop being something you're not. Stop settling. Really connect with who you are. Peace.
Another thing, if you guys found this video helpful, like always, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Also the notification bell, because it's been a long time I haven't been posting, so YouTube's probably not recommending my videos as much. If you really feel compelled to, I've added a Cash App that goes directly to my son's account, and you can just leave $1, $5, however you feel the need to, and this is gonna go 100% to my son. All right, thanks so much. See you guys in the next video.